Hi there, I'm Joe Ty, and this is a message for the nurse leaders at WellSpan Health. I am so looking forward to my return visit for Nurses Week 2023. You know, an awful lot has happened since my last visit in 2018, before COVID. Do you remember when BC meant something other than before COVID? And even when the pandemic is behind us, and we know it's not quite behind us yet, it's going to carry a long tail, an aftermath of physical and mental health and emotional well-being challenges. In fact, several co-authors and I recently wrote an article for Nursing Management on preparing and caring for COVID's emotional long haulers. And in another article in the same publication, we wrote about why it is so important now to work on a culture of emotional safety to complement psychological safety. And we explain why those are two different things. And we are facing significant staffing challenges, financial challenges, professional challenges today. But some really good things have happened too, haven't they? We have found new ways to look at staffing, new ways to communicate with each other, including Zoom. I used to think that Zoom was something a sports car did. New ways to look at technology. And you know, Florence Nightingale would have felt right at home in this setting, because at the Scutari Barrack Hospital, she faced a healthcare catastrophe like no one had ever seen before. And while she was coping with that, helping all of those poor blokes who had taken a bullet for their queen, she also defined what it means to be a nurse, established nursing as a real profession, and created a blueprint for the hospital as we know it today. Now, speaking of Florence, I have a brand new edition of my book, The Florence Prescription, coming out next year. We're going to have a custom edition made for WellSpan Health. And in that book, there'll be a new introduction on culture in the post-pandemic world, and a new afterword on Florence's legacy, not just in nursing, but overall in healthcare. And I've added a new chapter on emotional safety, which I mentioned earlier, why it's so important to complement psychological safety. And this new edition will be dedicated to Mark and Bonnie Barnes, co-founders of the Daisy Foundation, who have done so much for nurses, for the nursing profession, for healthcare in general. And my hope, my goal, my expectation is that we can launch the Florence Challenge, challenging organizations to create a culture where people are emotionally positive, self-empowered, and fully engaged. So I'm looking forward to working with you on all those things. Let me wrap up with the most important 3 words in that book. Proceed until apprehended. If something needs to be done, do it. Don't just complain. Don't just wait for someone else. Do it. If you need help, ask for it. And if you're apprehended, plea bargain for a better solution, because you started doing it, you started asking for help because it was important. Proceed until apprehended. Really good advice. And I will see you in May.